Heidi, and we are talking about the etiquette of a travel companion. Yeah, how do you travel with other people? Let's get into it. Number one, the planning, all right? Takes a lot of planning. Who's the planner? First of all, you've got to know yourself and know your expectations. What do you want out of this trip? You'd like to travel with someone, let's say. So how do you choose a travel companion? Well, these are things to consider. What type of person do you think you could travel with? What are your expectations? What are your deal breakers? What kind of trip do you want to go on? What's the destination? What's the length of the trip? Modes of transportation? How are you going to get there? What kind of interests does your travel companion need to have? So all these kinds of things are part of the planning. And who's going to do all the planning? So, make that part of the fun. All right. Number two is budget. How much can you spend on this trip? All right. And when you consider your travel companion, consider budgets. You've got to be respectful of everybody's budget. And how do you find that balance in the budgets? And top tip, before you go on your trip, set this out clearly. Here's our budget. This is how we're going to pay, how we're going to split the bills. Do this before you take off, and this will avoid so many pitfalls. Number three is activity level. All right, you do not have to be glued at the hip with someone. Not at all, not at all. It is just fine, and set this up before when you're setting up your budget and you're planning. Okay, set this as part of your pre-trip discussions that, hey, if I want to do something one day, see something, you want to see something else that same day, fine. It's fine to split up for a little bit. If you have that up front, then no one feels, geez, offended. You don't want to be with me or see that thing with me today? Okay, you don't have to be glued at the tip. So set that up. So if someone wants to go off on their own for a little bit, no one's offended. It's great. And a top tip, if you do have a little tiff during the trip, taking a break for a few hours really can sort of let cool things off a little bit. So you need a break, take it. All right, my number four, compromise. When you're traveling with another person, there are going to be times when you need to compromise, right? So just realize that. Maybe it's due to the itinerary or time constraints, whatever. Every now and then you're going to need to compromise, but it should be equal. That your travel companion should be compromising just as much. It should be an equal compromise on both parties. And my number five top tip is respect. Yes, okay, you know that in etiquette. Respect. Respect your fellow traveler. Respect the space. Usually you're in very small spaces. Be respectful of that. Keep things neat and tidy. Don't hog the bathroom. Please don't look, touch, or use someone else's things without asking. No, be respectful and understand we all have different interests. We all have little things about us that bug other people. So, be aware of that. These are my top 5 travel tips. I am just coming off a 5-day trip with a dear friend of mine who asked me to come on this trip with her. It's been a great trip. We're on a Virgin voyage. We've sailed through the Bahamas and Mexico. It's been marvelous. We're still speaking to each other, so that's a good thing. Thank you, Kelsey. Hope these top travel tips help.